Righto, it's time for the next mod on the Raptor. So we're now going to start diving into some engine mods. So I seen Fabulous Fabrications posted up there, twin intake, and I said I have to have one of those things. They look absolutely sick with the red pod filters behind the perspex. Looks absolutely awesome, I think. So I have done one sneaky engine mod already, probably about a month ago, that I haven't told you guys about yet, but I'm going to show you today what I've actually done to the Raptor engine-wise. This will be the second mod that I'm going to do under the bonnet on this thing. So Fabulous Fabrications, these things are fully laser cut, folded and TIG welded out of aluminium, super high quality. You're going to see that today. I'll give you a look over the whole airbox and how it actually is installed. We're going to install it together. Got a bunch of different components here. Got the airbox, also got the filler neck for your washer bottles. So there's a replacement for that, obviously, because this airbox is bigger than the factory one. And then we do have the silver replacement. So the guys are using a Aussie made filter here from Unifilter. The actual increase on airflow on this thing is about 51% of overall surface area that you now have versus standard. So that's a massive increase on airflow going into each turbo. So I've chosen to go with just the standard intake section. So you can get these that also run the Fabulous Fab snorkels that run out the side. I'm not putting a snorkel on my Raptor. Just personal preference, I don't want to listen to a snorkel up near my head, and I don't think I'm ever going to be in a scenario where I need a snorkel in my Raptor. Mine's more for vast off-road sort of driving rather than going through water that deep and that anyway, so just personal preference. I didn't want a snorkel, so good thing is these guys have a box. If you don't want to run a snorkel, you can do that, but then if you also want to run a snorkel, you can buy the Snorkel Pacific box as well. So either way you want to go about it, you can get it sorted for your needs, but they do a massive range of snorkels for all the most popular dual cabs and stuff like that. So I'll have everything in the description if you want to go and check it out and see what they have available for your rig. So I'll give you a look around this schmick little box here. So I've got the perspex front there with the Fabulous Fabrications perspex. And we've got our twin uni filters there. Massive amount of airflow. Like I said, 51% increase in the airflow. So it's a fully powder coated box as well in this textured black. Actually looks similar to the ebony black from Mitts Alloy. So looks similar to my canopy. Airflow sensor just here, as you can see. We have our two locators here on the bottom to locate our airbox. We've got this big fabricated section down here to trap any water or stuff that we may get in there. Going to leave this vent here open is what the guys recommend. Leave it open unless we're going to do a water crossing, then close it off and then reopen it again to drain any water out. So pretty high quality little valve here, made in Italy. Good quality stuff, but attention to detail with this is pretty damn good. Some wicked TIG welding down there, and then you can see just in there, very nice. You also have this printed washer bottle neck, so I'm assuming we're going to pull the factory one out and we're going to replace it with this one. So obviously because the airbox is bigger. Right, so here with the Raptor, ready to start unbolting the airbox and stuff, I want to give you a look at the little mod that I've already done, and that is the TURBOSMART blow-off valve that I've fitted. So it does sound pretty sick with the blow-off valve. It sounds even better when you're like fully up it and it's like on full boost and you've actually got some drag there on the driveline and stuff in the sand. It sounds pretty sick. So yeah, everything in the description if you want to grab one of those blow-off valves. Okay, so the guys do include obviously a parts list of what's actually should be included in the kit for you. So then we also do have a full instructions. Okay, so we're going to start removing the wiring that's going to the sensor. So we're just going to disconnect that just there. And then if you guys want to grab some of these, in the description I do have links to my Amazon store. You can get these little pry tools for any of these little clips that you may need to remove. So super handy so you don't actually break these clips and stuff. Just pull these out, move it along to the next one, get the pry tool up underneath there. pull him out. Righto, now that's out of the way. We have our clips down here on the side and one down on the front. Undo the intake over here and remove the whole top of the lid. Grab our screwdriver and undo this clamp here. And then just make sure that you do not get anything down the intake. That will be a very bad time when it goes into the turbo. So, undo our hose clamp just here. Again, this is my first time pulling apart the Raptor, so I'm still learning with you guys how to actually get it apart. So my guess is that just pulls off there. Yep, like so. And then we should, in theory, undo this one down here as well. Do the bottom clamp, which will go to the bottom turbo. So the top one goes to the right turbo, bottom one goes to the left turbo. Gonna undo that clamp as well, slide that down. Just be very careful not to get anything inside that intake. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna grab a rag. I'm gonna, nice clean rag. So I'm gonna remove this here first. Get that up out of the way. You can see our filter there now. So last thing we want is any sand, dirt, grime to go down this hole, or it will go into the turbo. So we're gonna plug that off first. So I've just got a sheet here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put one side of the sheet into that side, and then I'm simply just going to cover this side over with the sheet like that. So now nothing can fall down into there, and it's all one sheet, it's not multiple. So here we have our stock air filter. So as you can see, both turbos are competing through the same filter. So now hopefully with the bigger airbox with more airflow, we should see better performance as well. So next we're going to be removing this bolt just here. So this is it's a T30. So you're going to retain the factory hardware as well for this. I'm still figuring out how many bolts are got to be with this system, but I think there's only a couple. So, and this, in theory, should just all pull up and out, which is, this is one of the easiest air boxes I think I've ever removed. So basically that's it, that's your stock air box right there. So I knew when I first seen the Raptor how easy it would be to actually work on this thing. There is so much room. And that looks like that's for the factory snorkel. So we do have this bracket down here which we're going to have to remove as well. So we have another bolt just up underneath here. Okay, so it is going to be a 8mm socket. I'm going to remove this inner part of the guard. So this is obviously the support, factory support that does support the airbox. There is so much room around this engine. That's what I love, is that there is just mass room to get your hands around and get things out. It's not just all crammed in there. Like this compared to working on my F-Truck is crazy. You honestly need to lift the cab on the F-Truck to work on it productively. Then we're going to get our tool again, our trim removal tool, and we're going to remove that just down there. So we're going to retain this bolt. I think we're going to reuse this bolt, same as the other one that we just removed. So yeah, like I said, on Amazon, in links in the description if you want to get on my Amazon store. I've got heaps of gear on there that I use every day, and again, these just make life so much easier without breaking things. So there's your factory support bracket for your air intake. Okay, so here's our factory one, and here's the Fabulous Fabrications one. So it's basically going to replace that for us and actually move the whole thing in quite significantly to allow more room for our airbox. So yeah, I think this must be 3D printed or molded or something like that, but seems pretty good. Go ahead and get this one out, get this one in. Okay, so there's looks like a lot of Loctite on these bad boys. They feel like they're not coming out, but they eventually do come out. So you just got two bolts just there holding that filler thing in. So They do eventually come out. I don't know why they're so bloody long. It's only that piece of plastic they're holding, but anyway. So just keep cracking at them and you'll eventually get them out. So we have our new one here. So we're going to go ahead and get this one fitted in. Try not to lose my 10 mil. So obviously this is our factory support bracket. This is the fabricated one. So we're going to remove these rubber grommets and put them into our new Fabulous Fabrications support bracket and retain the factory ones. So pull them out now and set them back into here. So one of my favorite things with companies when they're trying to integrate product into cars is trying to get everything to work back like factory. That is my biggest pet peeve when companies don't do that. The boys at Fabulous have done that, so they've got this little locator here where you can actually put one of the coolant hoses here. You can reset that back into there just like factory. So our bracket's going to sit down like this, and you can actually push that clip back up into there and have that just like factory, which is absolutely sick. I love that. That is probably my favorite part of when a company integrates stuff like that, is that the factory clips and retainment for things work like stock. So here we have our bolt. We're going to put this back into the back side of the quarter panel here. Crank that up. Now we have our support there. Now I think we need our airbox. So we'll go grab our airbox and see if she fits. So here we go. Our Fabulous Fabrications airbox. So we'll just fiddle around here for a minute. So those bloody hoses are in my way. So I'm going to push these intake hoses out of the way. I'm going to remove my rag because it's actually keeping me hung up now. So you might need two people just to give you a hand here to push these hoses up out of the way. So we've got our secondary one just there, which is just got to locate our bottom feet. So we're getting there. It's a very snug fit. Where's my bottom hose? Just move that over. Try and get this top one to actually line up. Go over there like that. So we are yep, we are in on that bottom bracket, on the bottom support. Boys, you have done a very tidy job of this thing, and to get it to fit back where the factory bolts and stuff go. So very easy install on this thing. I'm pretty impressed. So we've got our bottom turbo. I've just got to locate that. I've just got to bring that hose up there. I'll jump back over the other side and do that here in a second. But the fit and finish around here is absolutely sick. Got to put our T30 back in. But honestly, if I wasn't filming, this would have taken me probably 20 minutes. I still do have to put the airflow sensor down the back down there. Got to stick that in as well, don't forget that. So we'll just get this thing all buttoned up and tied down. Stick the airflow sensor in there and happy days. Nice. Airflow sensor back down in there. So it's set back into position now. But super easy install, this thing. Got clearance for our washer bottle just there, so the boys have done a good job there, but very fast install. Nice and secure, not going anywhere. Fit and finish around here is really nice, just like the factory one. but just instead of the air going dipping all the way down like it does on the factory one, it's going straight into the airbox now. It's not having to go down, back up and in. It's just now getting forced straight to the filters. Come back down this side, so we've got our right hand side turbo, it's all tightened up now. Got our left hand side turbo, it's all tightened up. Do have our valve open like the boys recommend, but looks pretty sick. So the final test will be absolutely on performance and how it goes. So I'm going to take it for a spin this afternoon, go and grab the kids from school. Okay, so that is the Fabulous Fabrications twin air intake on my Ranger Raptor, done, dusted, fitted. The boys have done an absolutely sick job at getting this to integrate absolutely perfectly. Everything was just sweet. Everything just dropped in absolutely perfectly. So they've done a really good job at making this easy to install. All the factory connections and stuff just go back together, just like I mentioned with that. Just that things like that little connector, like those things to me are just when a company's got stuff on point at that stage is when they can just have those little retainers and stuff still in place to where your cables aren't just flopping around and it's not just an afterthought. They've actually gone through and thought of all those things to retain those wires, or whether it's hoses or whatever, is that it still operates like factory. So yeah, shout out to the boys for doing stuff like that, because that really means that they're going up and beyond and trying to think of how it should incorporate with the factory stuff. Took the car for a drive yesterday. Did I notice any performance increase? Absolutely. I felt like the car wasn't as like choked, and I didn't really notice that until now fitting this, is where I feel like the car actually pulled harder and could keep pulling because it was getting the air that it needed quicker than trying to go through the stock paper filter. Now going through the uni filters. So way better airflow, more air volume, and definitely a performance increase with this new airbox. So if you're looking for either a snorkel or an airbox, I highly recommend these guys. The fit and finisher quality of this thing is by far some of the best I've ever seen. So all the links are in the description to their website, where you can see if they have one for your dual cab ute. And they definitely, this one is the one I'd recommend for the Raptor. You can get it with a snorkel. I opted not to go for a snorkel just because I don't think I'm ever going to kind of do water crossings and things like that. Plus, I've had snorkels in the past, stainless snorkels, and that noise near my head, I couldn't stand it. So I've just gone for the basic airbox with no snorkel, and I absolutely love it. I think it's sick. So yeah, highly recommend these airboxes.